Hey guys, this is Chris Jones, your host of the Beyond Local podcast. This is episode 8. We will be talking about the topic of keeping SEO clients forever. I am thrilled to introduce today's guest. He is a familiar guest to Beyond Local, but Steve Blackburn, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely, my friend. Steve is our Director of Operations here at LSEO, and I will tell you something. This is an individual that has brought in so many ideas, but even more importantly, particularly around culture and how to build a great company. But what he's been able to do is infuse those ideas into actual results at LSEO. So you'll remember that Steve was on a previous podcast where he talked about how to build a great work culture. Today, we're going to talk about a very provocative topic. Let's call it a clickbait topic of keeping SEO clients forever. But again, Steve, welcome to the podcast. The thing I love so much about you, but one of the things I love about having you on this podcast is that you're not just an idea guy. You're not just the type of person to come into the room and speak just for sake of speaking. You come in with ideas and you bring those to life. I want to thank you for that. And we're gonna kind of peel back the onion on this idea of keeping SEO clients forever. But before we do that, let's talk about Steve Blackburn. Give us a little bit of backstory, and I know that the listeners want to get to know you better.
All right. So backstory. I've been working in the internet, we'll call it, for since I was like 22 years old. I started off at Network Solutions. So that was somebody to get a website, you need a domain name. So,
Sure.
I was selling xyz.com or whatever it is. And then you need hosting and email and, something for people to see. So I got into all of that. I got fully immersed in everything, started out with domain names, learned a little bit of web hosting. For some reason, I got really into like the nerdiness of like email and setting up Exchange servers and things like that. And then just one day I was like, well, I want more. We've got this internet thing, but how do people get found on it? So, I got into marketing and I did that for quite a number of years. Then I had some friends of mine that had known you and I followed your career. And, it's funny that I crossed paths with some of your guys. I was in Manhattan at SMX East while you guys were up for a US Search Award.
Sure.
And I met Nashi out on a rooftop bar. And I said to him one day, I said, I'm going to work for you. And, I came in, I started off as client services manager. I love people. I love the products. So it was kind of cool because, a lot of times you get people that either know the product or know the people, but not always both. So I can speak to the products, but also love the people. So I love doing the client stuff. I came in, I did that. And then there was just a need for me to spread my wings. I'm a bit of a rooster myself, and so I needed to spread my wings a little, and I, now head up the operations for the company. So I thank you for letting me do that. And, I still, though, at the end of the day, I love servicing our clients. So I run, the head of client services on some of our major accounts. And, as far as clickbait goes, I told you I had to learn how to do this stuff. So if I didn't write a title that someone's going to click on, well, shame on me, and you got to find somebody else. So, I thought that it would be fun to kind of talk about some of the other stuff I do. I do the culture thing, but I wanted to really hear people, let people know my other passions, which are the clients and the people, whether it's internal people, external people. I just love people, man.
So I'll ask you it, though, a little bit more formally. But why did you write this piece? Now, folks that are watching this have a better sense of what you do on a day-to-day basis at LSEO. But why is it important for other agencies or other independent contractors or freelancers to be thinking about how they could, it's almost like one of those ideas that, yes, please sign me up for SEO clients forever. But why is this an important topic?
Well, so the first thing is creative. I got to write something that was fun. Please read the piece, people. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's educational. So please read it. So the reason I wrote it was we're trying to promote the business, obviously, and I wrote this not for LSEO. I wrote this for every client out there that's been wronged by another agency or another business in general. I mean, it doesn't matter to me whether you work for a marketing agency or, hopefully the guys at my cable provider read this because, I'd like to stay with them forever, then they got to make me. But I wrote this because it was fun to write. I got to add in a little bit of pop culture. I got a lyric from my favorite rock and roll band is in there. We'll let you guys figure that all out. I'm not giving that one away. I got to write about one of my favorite TV shows, incorporating Don Draper from Mad Men into it. But really, at the heart of it, I want to showcase to you, my audience, that I love people, I love our clients. And LSEO, we've got it up on our board upstairs. Our client's success is our success. I walk in every day. I live by that. So I wanted to reflect it on our brand.
Yeah. And so for folks watching, of course, you know how this works with the Beyond Local podcast. Most of the time, our interview today is based on a blog post, and this is a very fresh blog post that just has come out in the last week. So look at the LSEO blog for that post, and you could also find a link to that post here in this podcast. So to your point on, focusing on clients, one of the things that you write in the piece, I believe you quoted it from Draper, is this idea that I work for the client, not the company. Or maybe that is the Steve Blackburn quote. You said that in there, and the thing that I really enjoyed about that, or I noted it, was this idea that is one of our core values at LSEO, is that our client success is our success. So is that, going into this piece, is that what you really wanted to do? So instead of the piece saying, keeping SEO clients forever, you could really replace SEO with anything.
Right.
Keeping your automotive service clients forever, keeping your accounting services clients forever, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'll notice I didn't write it on how to keep them for 6 months or 1 year. I said, let's keep you forever. And I hope that whatever service you're going to, whether it's, go get your tire changed today, that those people read my piece, start to put some of this into place and, build that brand loyalty. Like, I want to be proud that I choose, what I spend my money on. I don't want to be like, oh, well, I chose them because, well, they were the option. No, I want to choose a company or a brand because they're the best. And I believe that we're the best. So, I want people to choose us for that reason.
Sounds good. So let's peel back the onion, right? So in the post, actually, you give 10 ways to keep your SEO clients forever, But today we're going to explore 4 or 5 sort of highlights of the article. So let's dive right in. One of the key pieces of your post is this idea of building a great team. Can you speak a little bit more to the importance of that?
For sure. I mean, it doesn't matter what your business is. You've got to have great people doing it. Because at the end of the day, clients are here to buy services. You wouldn't want me to be your chiropractor. You want me to help you run an SEO agency. That's why I work for you, not a chiropractor. So the way I looked at it was, specifically to SEO. I took it and I started at its most basic level. It's easy to dream of the way to do it if you're a $100 million company. But let's crawl before we walk, and let's walk before we run. So I looked at it, what do we need? I need a team leader, and, luckily enough, I get to be kind of one of the team leaders at LSEO. What does that guy have to do? Everything, I'll help run the day-to-day operations. I'll help with the clients. I'll help with some billing. Heck, if you need it, I'll be, psychologist for a couple of hours. Well, whatever's needed. But at the end of the day, my team knows that I'm not going to put more onto their shoulders than I would ask of myself. After that, I need somebody to be my strategic SEO. That person, is one of the most important people outside of your team leader and the guy, leading your sales division, because money's the lifeblood of the organization. So I need somebody to be my SEO, just our subject matter expert, where they can point to him. And, we're lucky enough. I've got, international thought leader Kyle Cozy as my team's SEO. The guy's fantastic. Gets it. And wants to learn it every day. So you need to get a guy who just knows it. And then we need the best link builders, the best content writers, and then other account managers. So luckily, here in Northeastern Pennsylvania, we've put together just a heck of a team, and it's continuing to grow as we grow.
I thought one of even though it wasn't covered in the post, it's kind of an internal gem that you've brought to the table, this idea of bench theory. And really, instead of being a reactive organization that hires out of emotion because someone left for whatever the reason, the way that you operate this organization is to build a bench. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you, I've enjoyed sports my whole life, so I always thought of it like the next man up mentality. Or, if we think back to like the World War II posters with Uncle Sam, where it's the guy standing there, I want you, So that's my thing is I want you. I want the best people in the industry out there. So my thing is, if you're not always looking for talent, it's going to pass you by. If you're the GM of the Chicago Bulls in 1992 and someone calls about Michael Jordan, you take the call. You're probably not trading Michael Jordan, but you take the call, because if you don't, you're doing a disservice. I want to be known as the agency that has the best talent, and I want it to be where the brightest and best minds work here. So I always want to be looking to improve. And you know what? If that means that the next man up's better than me and I don't progress, so be it. Because we're just moving up and up and up. And if our bottom rung on the ladder is up here at the end of the day, man, we're doing great. So that's the bench theory.
Cool, awesome. The other thing you chat about and talk about in your piece is this idea of building great products or services. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we can say all of the right thing. We can have the fun people. We can have an awesome culture. We have all that. I want to keep clients. No matter how nice I am to them, if there's not results, they're not staying. So, we start off with just the basic piece, the website. If I'm doing SEO to a website that's subpar or just it's not going to work, this is not witchcraft. It's not voodoo, even though a lot of people don't understand what we do. If we don't have the foundation right, it's just not going to work. So the first thing that most agencies should offer or do offer is the web development piece. Hey, let's get you a world-class website. Let's make sure it scores well, speed's good, no technical errors, things like that. Then we're going to launch into like technical SEO. I don't want Google hitting dead ends on your website. 404 errors are no good. We want 200 pages. That's it, 200 status. So I want your website to be crawlable. I want it to be fast. I want it to be sleek. And then I want it to be filled with just awesome content. What's going to make people want to come read to your website, link to your website? And then I need a team to do my outreach. So I got my set of link builders, so that we can promote that content and really just drive up our authority within our space.
So is this a less is more type of theory?
I'm not going to say it, but there's another quote in there. But yes, and as you read the piece, you'll hear my quote from Mr. Draper on how I feel. But to paraphrase, yes, less is more. Clients, I don't need to offer. Burger King said there were, and I don't know the number, so I'm making it up. There were maybe 30,000 combinations for the Whopper. I don't know that I agree with that sentiment. I'd rather walk into Chick-fil-A. There's 6 things on the menu, but you know what? They make 5 of those 6 things better than anyone else, and that's what I want. So less oftentimes is more. Let's not overwhelm people with, well, you can have this, you can have this, you can have this. Instead, you can have this, and it's really going to work.
For folks watching this actual conversation, just a quick reflection. One of the most effective things you can do to, in fact, keep your clients forever and build a great business is what I call kind of putting to bed dead dogs. In other words, you have to hold your products and your services to such a high standard that if they're not meeting it, you probably shouldn't be selling it. Because think about it. If you're selling a subpar product that doesn't have the type of team leadership and the type of subject matter expertise that Steve referred to, really you're setting yourself up for problems with your attrition. It's one of the hardest things to do as a founder, as an executive of a company. It is to have candid, objective looks at the quality of your products and services and be able to either make the decision, and we did this recently, to make a decision to draw a line in the sand that this is something that we're going to sunset. This is something that we're not going to continue to do. Again, it's something you need to think about yourself for your own business, but I would strongly encourage you as you're reading Steve's post to really think through whether or not the products and services that you're providing to your customers and your clients they meet your standards. So let's move on. So great products, great services for sure. If we're going to talk about SEO, we can't not talk about the importance of tools. And you go into some detail about that in your piece. So can you share a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that every SEO is going to tell you tools are important. It's great to have all the knowledge in the world, but I don't want to self-aggregate that knowledge. If I've got a hard math problem, I pull out a calculator, not an abacus. It's the 21st century, so let's use 21st century tools. Some of my favorites are like SEMrush, Ahrefs. Kyle wrote a great blog piece on just the top 25 search tools of 2020. So in order to set your clients up for success, you have to set your team up for success. And by doing that, you have to have the world's, best and greatest tools, because I need to show them based on, what the client wants, hey, are we moving keywords? Are we driving traffic, etc. And tools are just how we get that information.
Yeah, tools are one of those things too, where, for me, what I can't get out of my head is when I would ask a client, how do you come up with your keywords? And they say, well, we sit around a table and there's much more effective tool-based strategies to look at things like search volume and the way that someone's typing in the keywords, because there's all kinds of biases that we bring into the table based on how we shop or how we make decisions. So tools are essential. The other thing I wanted to mention quick, because it came up in an early podcast where we were talking about whether to insource or outsource your digital marketing strategy. And that was the idea of cost. Some of these tools can become costly and really cost prohibitive, and therefore you don't use them. So you're, in effect, evaluating your digital marketing strategy without using the tools that are really going to allow you to differentiate your campaign from the has versus the have-nots. So totally critical things to consider. So let's add on to that. So great products, great services, the best tools, reporting. How do we understand how to measure what matters?
Well, the first thing we have to do is ask. I'm not going to stand here and make an assumption. Well, do you want me to drive traffic to your website? Well, that's what we're going to do. Because at the end of the day, when I hand you your report, you're going to say, "That's great, Steve. I was looking to add, to average session duration." Mm-hmm. So the first thing we have to do is we have to ask you. Tell me what you want to happen. What's the end result? What's going to make you happy? Mm-hmm. I want to know, what's the key performance indicator that you want to move the needle on? Is it unique visitors? Is it traffic? Is it keyword movement? Is it any number of KPIs? But at the end of the day, we want to put together then, some custom reporting, put our logo on it, put the customer's logo, send them over a report that they can access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because nothing's worse than, if I'm only getting a report, July 1st or August 1st or at the end of the month, and I've got to wait a whole month to see my results. Well, I want to track that stuff. I'm a little obsessive over this industry, but I'm going to want to track it daily. So we send out reports that customers can look at, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And we set goals for them based on the key performance indicators that they tell us so that they can see how the needle's moving. There's no way you're going to keep a client for 6 months, let alone forever, if you're not going after their goals. And sometimes you just have to let them tell you what they want.
Yeah. This has got to be one of the most important recommendations you make to building this business that keeps its clients forever, because at the end of the day, we know why they're coming to us, right? They have a problem and we can solve it, or we offer a level of specialty or expertise that helps them compete. But there has to be, I remember, actually, this reminds me, a former client was the Commonwealth Medical College here in Pennsylvania. The reason why they're no longer a client is they were acquired by a larger conglomerate called Geisinger. and it's a little bit complex, but we kind of got swept up in that. But I remember the early meetings with the Commonwealth Medical College and how important those meetings were. You know what we spoke about most of the time? How we were going to measure success. I knew how important it was going to be to get on the same page with them and understand how they think about measurement. You mentioned that in your post. I took note of that when I read it myself, is that, hey, listen, we may use different words that might be similar to what they're looking for, but we have to have that conversation so that the client is aligned with how we're communicating to them performance.
For sure. I think and one thing I didn't put in the piece that I would say is, what does success look like? But at the other extreme, what does failure look like? Because I want to stay away from that, you know? So yeah. I agree.
So let's add another one on. So we have great product services, access to the best tools so that we could give our clients a competitive advantage. You know, can't stress the importance of reporting enough. And it's not just having a report, it's getting aligned with the client or the customer on how we're going to measure success and how we're going to report it. This one, my friend, you hit out of the park. You are a great relationship builder with our clients. You get to know them. So let's talk about this idea of client communication and why it's essential for building a company that keeps its clients a long time.
Well, then the first thing I want to do, hi everybody, because I know that some of our clients are watching, and you know, now it's not Zoom, guys. This is me in the flesh. So that's it. You know, I came to you and started off in one area of my career with LSEO as, you know, the client services manager, and it's because I love people. We have a lot of great people, you know, someone like Sean Dayton that I just admire. You know, I talked to him about, you know, building relationships because it's something that we're just both so passionate about. Some of our clients are just now friends of mine, you know. Somebody like JR, you know, I might text him on the weekend and be like, hey brother, how's vacation going? So I think that it's important because rapport is just as important as a report. Because here's the thing. What we do is, while it's not witchcraft, it's also not an exact science. So you're going to stumble along the way. And I build that communication and rapport with them so that, you know, they know that I have their best interests in mind. So if something doesn't go exactly the way we want it, it buys me the time because they like me. You know, and you're generally going to give someone that you like the benefit of the doubt. So the big thing is client communication, building rapport with them, and becoming an extension to their business. I'm not someone they hire. I'm just a resource they have. I'm their marketing arm. So that's why I think client communication is just paramount. You know, make people happy, make people comfortable.
Yeah, and again, we'll go back to the quote that I had mentioned in the beginning, that I work for the client, not the company. Let me just ask you real quick, because this is something you're a clear expert on. How can organizations become more proactive instead of reactive? Because a lot of times client communication is when the client is already emotional, they're upset, something's not going well. So, and you've done this for LSEO, it's pretty extraordinary. How do we get to the point where we're just letting the client know that we hope they have a great weekend? You know, what's your kind of secret tip?
Well, you know, it's bring the human element. Like don't think of your client as just a number on the balance sheet or anything like that. It's think of them as people. It goes back to the golden rule, you know, do unto others. So, you know, I want them when we hang up to say, hey, Steve, have a great weekend. And I always think that just building that relationship, I mean, here's the thing. We're in a pandemic, you know, and right now some difficult decisions by businesses have to be made. Well, when they think about LSEO or they think about marketing first, you know, because they might have traditional, they might have digital, they might be doing, you know, whatever. Well, when they think about LSEO, I don't want them thinking about LSEO. I want them thinking about Steve Blackburn. And I'm not leaving that guy. You know why? Because I give you what you deserve. And, you know, again, it's just treating people. I want my customers to be my friends, not my clients, you know, and that's why I said This is about the clients. I work for clients, not my company, no matter what industry.
It's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned that in your post that, you go to bat. You go to bat. You go to bat for the staff that reports into you. You go to bat for the clients that help pay your salary.
Correct.
It's awesome. All right, so let's finish this off with one of the sort of, call it secret sauces. Listen, at the end of the day, one of our core values at LSEO is to invest in the personal and professional development of our team. It's a core value. We can't get away with not doing it. So ongoing training and development is something that you're suggesting to others that if they want to build a killer work culture, high client satisfaction, and ultimately clients that stick around for a long time, they need to also invest in ongoing training and development. So can you chat about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, you've been in this long enough where you remember, you're one penguin away. Well, I guess now we're one Bert away. So, I mean, we're really one Google core algorithm from, everything we've worked so hard for just going up in flames. So you've got to make sure that you've got people who love this stuff. Every day we should be having, if we have a member on our team who's not reading, SEJ or Search Engine Land every day when they come in, well, then I'm doing my job wrong because they don't see me doing it. And as a leader in your organization, I lead by example. So there's obviously we have to stay on top of what we're doing, industry news, things like that. But to another piece, there's also the personal development, and there's reinvesting into your people. And we've gone through leadership training with Dr. Salchik from the University of Florida, and that's been great. And the way that helps me is, I might have someone who's an A-type personality, a B-type personality, maybe they're an ESTJ or, whatever. And I have to be able to pivot and speak to someone so that they can, digest it. And it comes off as informative, caring, but not intrusive. So, that personal and professional development that we were taught has just gone the extra mile. I mean, I was always good at building relationships and rapport. Again, I probably talk too much, but it's one of those things where through the leadership training that LSEO has provided me, I've just taken it to the next level. And, I think that our clients would say that they can see the difference in me over the last year. So I want to just continue to get better so that I can serve them.
Well, listen, Steve, thank you so much for being a guest on today's podcast. And for those that are still watching, come back with us for episode 9. We will be joined by Kyle Cozy, our head of SEO, and we'll be peeling back the onion on how to help you guys improve your organic search. Thanks so much for watching.